Will Mamdani freeze New York City rent before 2027? 63 says yes. He's going to pull that off. What do you think? How terrible of an idea is this? How great of an idea is this, Barry?
Well, just go to where you have current rent freezes. It usually doesn't provide the best conditions. Landlords don't have incentives. Real estate values are harmed. You don't have people that want to purchase those because you can't make money on those properties. You have to give incentives for investment, and you have to give incentives for good conditions.
And why is this a bad thing?
I think rent freezes.
Who's turned off by this? Who does this hurt? Isn't this a noble thing,
Developers.
though? Isn't this helping out people that don't want their rents to increase? Isn't it fair for them to not have their rents being increased? Because he's saying it's a great idea, and people voted for this.
So who's going to provide the housing for that?
Correct.
Who's going to provide that type of housing, and what quality of housing would it be? You've got to figure out the finances on that one way or another.
Think about how bad just rent controls are. Like some of the most expensive areas in the world to live in are places that have rent controls, which is like New York and California already. But it's the same thing that you said, but just to a smaller magnitude of not wanting to build or not having an incentive to own. But it's that times 10.
Tom, thoughts?
The single family homeowner stops putting small homes as inventory out to rent. Large corporations and guys that own a lot of multi-dwelling units, MDUs, apartment buildings, they're still out there, but now their level of improvement, the level of investment in the property is lower, so the condition is lower. Heating, air conditioning systems, they choose to stretch them out and don't replace them as soon. But the single-family homeowner that retires often looks at it and says, if I can't do this, why take the risk on it? I'm not going to put that on the market. So that inventory never comes on the market. And sometimes they just decide, okay, we're going to sell it. And so what could have been a collection of other rentable units for the renting population is not there. So the quality goes down, but also the supply goes down.